Hello, welcome back to Mr. Arsenal podcast for basically something different, bit sort of a review, but different kind of format to what your normal Arsenal review had on these shows before. And if it's well received, obviously I'll continue that throughout the season. But yeah, as the title says, six things, well, not even six things, literally things we learned from last night's defeat to Liverpool. I'm going to try and be positive, but there will be negatives. But I won't be ultra negative. It'll just be negative points that I have to point out. You have to be truthful on these sort of things, but I won't be like, "Oh, that's the end of the world." Da, 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 da. So yeah, you just got to deal with my ugly mug today. I don't know what to say, but basically, yeah, let's get right into it. Really, let's go over to here. The first topic is literally it's the most simplest one. The first thing everyone noticed, squad depth. If anything, we knew we lacked squad depth, but to get to where we want to be, and where Liverpool are, the squad we have depth-wise isn't good enough. When we're on the bare bones, we've got a few injuries here and there. We struggle massively. I mean, massively. The likes of the fact that, well, in terms of midfield, for example, before I get into defence, in our midfield options, El Neni and Xhaka, Ceballos, central wise. I mean, Ainsley can play there, but he doesn't. It seems that Arteta doesn't want to play in there. He wants him to be versatile, play across the back line, basically, as in the wing backs, all this, that, and the other. Wants to play him everywhere, but so we do need to address that. In these next 6 days are gonna be huge, and I mean huge, not just for Arteta in terms of this season, but for the club itself. Because worst case scenario, if things fall apart in the next 6 days and we don't sign no one that we've been linked with, Jorginho or Thomas Partey, things are going to go off the scale within the Arsenal fan base, especially on social media. I should, no disrespect, I should know. I've doing what I do. I use social media a lot, so yeah. And I know the fan base because I'm so closely connected to the Arsenal fan base in the sense of my Twitter side of things. I know that something goes wrong, there's an overreaction. But so we don't need the fan base doesn't need any excuses from the board. Really, they need to get their heads down in these next 6 days and pull everything out of the hat. Get Hassan Aouar straight away. No messing about now. You've got, as I say, 6 days. Get that done ASAP, because then it gives you more time to then go to Atletico and go and get Thomas Partey if you're seriously want him. Otherwise, if you don't get Partey, the worst case is Jorginho. And don't get me wrong, he Premier League proven. But has he really done anything special at Chelsea? I mean, it is Frank Lampard, so I don't know. It could be different under Arteta. If it's someone Arteta wants, I'll get on board with it. But it's still, I still have that niggling doubt when he first comes in. Don't get me wrong. Big up Simpy in the chat as well. Morning. Oh dear. I wonder how you're feeling after last night. And you had John on the watch song that you did. So at least I didn't have to face a Liverpool fan straight from the off. Jesus. No, it's just. Yeah, our squad depth, as I was saying, it's massively. And then you look at our defensive lines. We're looking to get rid of. We've got, as we've said before on this channel since the season started, we could be the only club that has 8 or 9 centre backs, and only have like 3 or 4 actually match fit. So the centre backs we're trying to get rid of, we can't get rid of because we haven't got. We haven't got the players we want to keep fit, and it's that, and that also then goes into why we can't fucking how he pushed through these other signs of address already. yeah, simply literally we're the same. We're over here. We're literally like, oh yes, thank fuck for that. Yeah, Right, we're off. Okay, next 3 minutes, let's get back to basics and sort of, hold things out. And obviously, we all know what happened. And as soon as that goal went in, it was like, oh, okay, that's the way it lasted. Then a few minutes later, ball watching FC. But I'll get on. That's another point I'll get onto later. But yeah, massively squad depth is a massive, massive thing for us. If we've got serious intentions of going for top four, third, fourth, whatever, we need to actually add to this. Not only just get rid of what's not good enough now, but then bring in players that not only are good enough, but that will add that depth to our squad, because we are massively lacking, and that massively showed last night against arguably the best team in Europe, alongside Bayern Munich. So yeah, it is frustrating, and it's because don't get me wrong, I went into this game massively like, well, hey, we're gonna get something out of this. Things are going to change. We're going to get battered. And to a point, we didn't get really battered. It was just our own defense. It was our own mistakes. So I'm going to get onto them in the next couple of points. The next point is to move on to it because straight into it. Defensive mistakes, aka ball watching defending. Something I've been saying for fucking God knows how long about our defending. Ball watching FC when it comes to defending with Arsenal. It crept backward with abundance last night against Liverpool after going 1-0 up. Don't get me wrong, our goal wasn't fantastic. It was all all 4 goals came from defensive errors. But fuck me, the first 2 days scored. My God, literally no awareness of what the players. Certain players had no awareness of what was around them, who was around them, who was aware, this, that, and the other. They're just watching the ball. They're not looking around, making sure they're covered behind them, and this, that, and the other, or who's coming from that side or whatever. Oh no, we'll just watch the ball and hope for the best, and it pisses me off. I honestly thought we were past this, but no, the players yet again, and it's nothing to do with Arteta this time. Certain players let Arteta down last night with that ball watching defending FC bollocks again. And it goes on. It'll go on to some other points I'm going to make as well. That it just ran time that certain players I'm going to touch on later on need to go either this transfer window or soon or later in January, because we can't carry them anymore. If we want to be if we want to get to where we've been told, we can't carry them anymore. And it's just so frustrating. We haven't done any of, because since the return of the Premier League back in June and start of the first couple games of this season, we haven't done that ball watching fucking bullshit defending. In the biggest game of the season, our toughest away game, it all creeps back and they all fucking revert back to their old stupid ways. It just pisses me off. That was my main gripe for me in that terms of that defeat last night. It was our own individual stupidity, and that led to Liverpool's win. Liverpool had all the ball, this, that, and the other. They didn't really. If we defended properly, basically, what I'm trying to say, if we didn't do this ball watching defending bollocks, then these 3 goals don't happen. And arguably, you can then say we could have got a point out of that in terms of our defending side of it. And then again, this point leads on to my next point, which is certain players just ain't good enough. So I've touched on and said that basically certain players aren't good enough, and then players are going to be. I have to name them and shame them to go where we need to get where we need to be, and where we want to go, where the club wants to go. Certain players need to go, and if not now, in January, ASAP, because they're going to keep holding. And the longer they're at our club, it's going to keep holding us back, basically. And we ain't going to get nowhere fast with that, with them still at our club, basically. And the players in question are, for me, people are going to disagree. Hector Bellerin, Rob Holding. I think Rob Holding is at least a loan out, and if in that loan, Arteta and the board and the club are still not happy, then sell him next summer. But loan him out for this season, I'm just because since he's come back from his ACL, he hasn't been shown the same sort of form and promise that he did before that ACL. I know an ACL was a big injury and things like that, but he's just not bad. He just looks uncomfortable when it comes to defending. Whenever there's a bit of pressure put on him, he doesn't look comfortable. He looks suspect, and that does my head in. So I think a loan could do him the world of good. Either way, in terms of his future going forward. Hector Bellerin, what can I say? Yeah, he's great going forward, this, that, and the other. But he's right wing back, whatever. A part of his job is to defend, and he can't defend. The second goal, it pisses me off even now, because as I alluded to in my last point, ball watching, defending. If you go back and watch it, him and Holding watching the ball, not having any clue what's going on around him, but more so Bellerin pulls away from where he was, goes towards Holding, which leaves and he doesn't again runs towards Holding, doesn't even check if anyone's coming from the attack from Liverpool, coming towards the goal. Oh no, he just runs. There's no awareness about what's going on around him, basically, which then leads to Liverpool going 2-1 up, because he's left that massive gap, acres of space. Of obviously continue to do what he did and scored a goal, and it leaves Leno completely exposed, because what else can Leno do? And yeah, so I don't see us selling Hector at this point in time, or loaning him out or whatever, because 6 days ago we don't have time to replace him, or not just replace him, get someone in to add, as I alluded to before, about our squad depth. So with me, when we have a fully fit back line, or not even fully fit, a somewhat full fit back line, in terms of our centre backs and this, that, the other, he can't be in our first 11. He has to be either Cedric or Ainsley at right wing back for me. And then obviously you have our 3 centre backs, and then Tini at left wing back, where he's meant to be. Because again, Tini's can play that position at the moment because of what's going on. Mr. Maxwell, one sec. And then simple one sec. Just going back to the chat quickly. I missed the after-match talk with Ben. I've got that. I'm going to bring that on the screen in a sec. So do stay with me, Simpy, on that. I had to turn off my TV. Oh, trust me. Once I got off here, I had to go down and get some fucking drink and get some fresh air, because literally I was just steaming. And other matters as well. But matters I'm not going to really go into, because it's not part of this sort of segment of what I'm doing for this show. But I'll bring it up. If you go back and watch, you'll see the main topic of discussion last night with a certain Liverpool player, but at the beginning of the stream. But yeah, did he say something like, you can't expect to come to Anfield and win? Well, if you bear with me now, and obviously he's going to say that does match what Sanchez, yeah, there's a mentality thing as well, which, yeah, but if you bear with me now, I'm going to add it to the stream here. And I'll play it. Hopefully the full volume is loud, yep. And play.
It's hard to see positive sometimes when after a loss, I'm sure that tomorrow we'll review the game and we'll see the many good things that we have done. We're very frustrated because after winning last 2 games against them, we truly believe that we could hurt them here at their own home, and I think we had the chances to actually make it even more difficult than it was for them. But it wasn't to be today, and as you say, I think we'll look at the positives tomorrow. But today is really hard to take. It's hard.
So yeah, that's what Hector had to say on the Arsenal website, on the Arsenal social media website, and all that crap. Let's take that down for a sec. But yeah, it does go. it does seem. I don't know if it's just me, but it does seem it's just very media sort of have to say this to appease the fans because of obviously we've lost 3-1 at home. We've lost 3-1 again. This, that, and the other to Liverpool. Don't go on, it's Liverpool. I wasn't expecting us to win. I was going into the match itself hoping for at least a draw. I would have took a draw myself going into the game, and obviously coming out of it, I would still take that draw, to be honest. But yeah, but also yeah, his mentality, and I don't care what he says there about after. Again, it's another thing. This is a thing Arteta needs. He's been trying to get beaten out of the team he's inherited, the squad he's inherited, and that's the weak mentality. And obviously Hector there saying, "Oh, well, obviously we believe we could do this and that and the other." But when you play like you did last night, I'm sorry, that ain't gonna happen. When you defend the way you did, especially for that second goal, and keep going over it, running away, running towards Holding, who's okay, he had no issue. He was doing his own. He was marking his own man. When you're running away and giving fucking any and everyone on that left hand side acres of space to do whatever the fuck they want if they come into that box, what do you expect? And for me, he didn't really do anything after. It's not just him, whatever, but it's not. He didn't really do anything for me to redeem himself from that afterwards, in my opinion. Other players that are not good enough. I don't turn this into a Hector Bellerin battering or Papa Holding battering, things like that. I'm not that sort of person. Next person that's not good enough, it needs to be gone ASAP. Granit Xhaka. For me, yeah, he's key at the moment. At the moment, he is key for Arteta and what Arteta's plans and what he's doing at the moment. But this is why we need to get someone like Partey in. So Partey, because let's not beat around the bush. Partey is a far superior player in that position compared to Granit Xhaka. And yeah, he's just not. He's just not for over the course of the season. He isn't the man, the sort of player we need in that role that's going to get us top 4 and then challenging for start competing, challenging for titles. He's not that type of player. And that's just rammed it home last night because arguably that's his worst performance under Arteta since Arteta come in back in December, and it is extremely frustrating that the way things are, the way the club are doing their business is so annoying. But it is what it is. And this is another thing which we did touch on in last night in terms of transferring the Whites, the negative side of it overlapping into the season. Because we had this before, and this is the reason why we had for the last couple of seasons the transfer window closed on the eve of the season. But no, because of everything that's gone on, obviously they've decided no. We're going to close it in October when the season's already started 4 games in, sorry. So you've got that issue. It's just, yeah. I mean, I'm just baffled. That's all. It's frustrating that we can't get players at the books. I've touched this before. The reason we can't get players at the books because we've got mediocre players on high wages that won't go anywhere else with pay cut because they're comfortable as it is. And this is all thanks to the likes of Ivan Gazidis to put us in this situation in the first place. So thank you, Ivan, yet again. But that's again a whole different show. Mohamed, again, El Nene, not good enough, as in for a first team squad. As a squad player, I can get on board with that as well. But for like the League Cup, early stages of Europa League, things like that. But for Premier League, week in, week out, not good enough. And I don't like being negative. I try to think on positives and things like that. And I know this is a negative. The first few points have been, or especially this point, a certain player's not being good enough is a negative thing. But I have to be honest at the same time. I can't just go around being positive, banging a positive drum when there are clear and obvious things that need to be addressed, and the club itself has got 6 days and counting to address them, or as I said at the beginning of this stream, all hell is going to break loose in terms of the fan base. Because that has just ram home what certain other fans on the YouTube platform are banging on about day in, day out on their social medias and on their YouTube channel. And that'll just drive me mad, fucking having another 2 months of that. Going, I told you so, I told you so. True, as soon as he got the ball, Liverpool were running at him. He was too slow, making constant mistakes. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. It's normally Nene goes off for Ceballos, and it says something when actually it was Xhaka that went off. And again, true, and Nene should be playing Thursday, not yesterday. At least, I think because of going back to what I said about Scott Dev, I think El Nene, out of the two, El Nene will definitely play on Thursday anyway. But I think what I'm saying is long term, he needs to be that player that plays on a Thursday night or in the League Cup games and things like that. For a week in, week out, he's not week in, week out back-to-back Premier League games. He's just not what we need. But again, as I said, the club's got 6 days to sort this shit out. I doubt they're going to do it because I have to go by what the club have done in their past. They haven't really done fully addressed things in the past. It's only this summer that they've started to address the areas that need addressing, in the sense of we need centre backs. We've got centre backs. We need to have a right back. We've got the right back in Cedric. We need what's he called it? A player that can play in different positions. We got that in Willian along the front three. He can play anywhere along that front three sort of thing, or in the creative 10 role, whatever they fucking call it. He can do things like that. It's just, yeah. And then it gets down to these last few days, and that's when the beginning doubt comes in for me, because I've been here before. I remember back in 2015, going into the 15-16 season. So we only signed Petr Cech, for fuck's sake, and we needed a striker, an actual out and out goal scoring striker that's going to score those goals week in, week out, and actually complement Özil at the time. And let's not get twisted with Özil that season. He had the season of his at 15-16 season was his best season at Arsenal, and with a fucking striker that would fucking score goals and take the chances that was given to him on a fucking plate, we could have won the league that season. But that's another topic. Again, that's another show. But my point is, I've been here before. We've seen these things where we needed things addressing: strikers, CDMs, fucking you name it, centre backs. A spine at that 15-16 season, we needed a spine, and we only addressed one part of that, and that's a goalkeeper. So until I see different in these next 6 days, I can't really be optimistic in that sense in terms of the board, and I know it's a different board and things like the new regime, but I need to see him at least be aggressive and get at least one of these two players, main players. I'm taking Jorginho out of the equation for a second here, because I think he's a worst case scenario sort of thing in terms of if we can't get Partey or I think he's a worst case to be another signing, like a last minute. I think we can't get, because I think they want to get Partey. Obviously, but they want to get Partey and Oye, and we're in a strong position because both clubs need to sell. But if we can only get one or the other, Jorginho's up there for the backup to fill in that slot for the time being, basically. If it means we can get Guendouzi going the other way as well, so be it. Going back to my points, but yeah, they're the main players that really stuck out for me in the sense of they're just not good enough. They need to sort of pastures new or go out on loan, things like that, or just go back in, or just be a squad player and play the League Cup games, like I said to Phil Nenny, things like that. I mean, my next point is creativity, which obviously I've touched on with the Saints, as we lacked. Again, I touched on this back in the West Ham after the West Ham game, how it massively showed how much we needed, or I don't know how to pronounce his fucking name. Sorry. In ASAP, we need that creativity in our midfield massively. And again, it rammed it home last night. It massively rammed it home because Willian can't do it all. He actually can't. Over the course of a season, where he's got 38 league games, Europa League as well. You can chuck in a few that. You've got League Cup. We're basically playing for club. When a club like us are playing in 4 different competitions, can win 4 different things, whatever, and almost in a season, whatever. That's over 60 odd games, 70 games. For a player of his age, he can't be doing that week in, week out on his own. He needs, again, it goes back to my thing, squad depth. It gives him a chance to rest up, because obviously as he's getting older, things are going to affect him more. We're playing week in, week out. It takes that pressure off him as well. He doesn't have. He's like, I'm not doing it all. I've got someone here that can, if not do a better job. This exact same thing as what I'm trying to do. I mean, seriously, my days, it does drive me mad that we're in this position. I mean, that we haven't been as aggressive as, because we've been aggressive in other areas in this transfer window. It's just when it comes to Awa, we pronounce his name, and Partey, we haven't been that aggressive, and it's massively affected us. I.e., last night because we lost, because we hadn't had that creativity, and that only again, people say Danny Ceballos, and he came on, but you've got to remember he's on loan. There's no guarantee next season he'll be. So we need a long-term thing in place, and we need to get him in ASAP to get him into the mould of what Arteta's trying to do ASAP. And also, it can't just be put on the fucking, because say like Ceballos or Willian get injured, you then put all the pressure on the other player then, or both get injured, and we've got then no creativity whatsoever in our midfield. We need more options. So yeah, that's that and that side of things. And then lastly, the last point is Arteta will make mistakes along the way, which I think it was a massive wake up, because I think parts of the fan base started thinking we'll past the bad times and this, that, and the other, and there's only good things going forward. That forgetting that obviously Arteta, no disrespect, again, is a rookie manager, because this is his first job. This is his first job as a manager, head coach, whatever they call it. This is his first job. He's going to make the odd mistake here and there along the way. And I'd rather him do it in the early stages of a season. I know it's Liverpool. We all want to get a point here or nick a win and break that curse of Anfield and things like that, and put a stamp down and show that we are better than the likes of Chelsea's and the Uniteds and things like that, which I think we are anyway. We're way ahead in that side of things. But I'd rather he got out of the way last night and he learnt from it than he say, for example, he makes that mistake against a lesser opposition that are struggling, or we fuck up in that game. Because then suddenly the fucking doubt creeps in there for the rest of the players. Like, oh shit, here we go again. We've been here before with other managers or head coaches, and look what happened there, sort of thing. And then it all spirals out of control again. I'd rather it get one off game, get it out of the way, we move on. And the good thing is we've got Thursday to redeem ourselves, go back to Anfield and redeem and rectify, not only rectify the mistakes that he made, but rectify the mistakes that were made by the players on the pitch, assuming certain players will be playing on Thursday, i.e. Hector, because if Cedric's still injured, unless he changes the back three and then puts Tini at left wing back, that means that's that, and then puts Ainsley at right wing back, then obviously Hector will be on the bench. but we've got a chance there to redeem and rectify their mistakes. I know it's a cup game; it's not the league, it's not 3 points, but it's a cup game. It's still an important game, and also you then got the game on Sunday before the international break. And I'd rather it happen. Also, again, like I touched on last night, I'd rather the mistake happened last night that he made in terms of going two defensive-minded midfielders in the starting lineup in Elneny and Xhaka against Liverpool, rather than not having a creative midfielder alongside to help out Willian, this, that, and the other alongside one Elneny or Xhaka, because after the international break, it is going to be one hell of a month basically for us as a club. That month after the international break could make or break us basically in terms of where we're going with this season. Basically, I know it's early stages, but it's so crucial because we've got Man City away, Leicester at home, United away. 3 massive games. I'd rather him get out of the way now and learn from that mistake, and then because if he say he hadn't made a mistake, made that error last night, goes along the way, but then comes back after the international break and makes that mistake then. And straight away, you've then got to go try and rectify it against Leicester or Man United or whatever. And knowing how intense them games are going to be in the first place, there's a lot of pressure to put on yourself again. So I'd rather get away now. Then we're going back to Anfield on Thursday. We're then coming back home on Sunday to play Sheffield, and sort of get things back on track. Use these 2 games to get ourselves back on track. So when come after the international break, there's no sort of niggling doubt. We can push on. And yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to add anything into the chat before I wrap things up, but yeah, they're the 5 things we've really rammed home last night. The key things for me that we learnt from last night that we are, and also lastly, how far off, actually, last point, how far away we are from being where Liverpool are. Because that's the thing, that's the target. Like when George Graham came in at Arsenal back in 87, 86, sorry. Back in 86, Liverpool were the target. They were the team to beat. They were up there. They were fucking winning everything. European competitions, you name it. And he put it out there. That was the team to catch. And it's a similar situation now. And last night, that's the last thing we learned was how far away we really are from being anywhere near being able to compete with them, with this squad. And that also rolls as one into what I've broke down today. But yeah, it's just extremely not frustrating. It's frustrating, but not extremely frustrating. It's not weird. It'll come to me later. Literally, I have to come off it. I'll go, oh, it's that. No, oh, here we go. One sec. I'll big up yourself there. And big ups, obviously, Simpy, I've said already, been very proactive in the chat. Oh, dear, no, it's just very eye-opening. That's the word. Very eye-opening to where we are. But don't get carried away. Don't panic, guys. It ain't the end of the world. In my opinion, and the panel I had on last night, in our opinion, we're still going from what we've seen in these first couple games, even last night's game. We're still, in my opinion, and other the people I had on last night, in our opinions, in our head, we are still ahead of the likes of Chelsea, United, Tottenham at the moment. They're not nowhere near, but as in, I think we're a bit further ahead in terms of our not just fitness but performances, and as a whole, we're more as one with as one with our man, as one as a whole, compared to what we see with Chelsea, for example. They've brought in these load of players. They haven't had a preseason to gel, so having all these performances on the pitch, to dropping points left, right, and centre. What 4 points they've got out of 9? and they're meant to be title challengers. We had fucking, what was it, that Sophie fucking Rose, that Sophie Rose girl. It's a diehard Chelsea fan and all that. With her, ironically, by the way, her chest, not literally, by the way, her chest out going, "We're gonna win the league. We're gonna be Premier League champions." And look how they've started. And I always said they weren't going to win. They were getting nowhere near the league title this season. Nowhere near, because of the circumstances that have happened this year. I know in the sense that they bought all these players and they haven't had time to gel, as I've already touched on. Then you go on to Man United. Yet again, the season started, and the performances are absolutely shocking. That's like they were beginning of last season, and they need a bit of help here and there. But it is what it is. They're not as, and you can see, as compared to us as a whole, they're not like where we are in that sense. If that makes sense. We need. I'm trying to be speed up a bit here, but then and you got that lot down the road. I mean, before I touch on that lot down the road, Michael123 says yesterday was our defensive mistakes that cost us. I just don't understand why we're playing the Gabriel on the bench. Just believe in Arteta. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I did touch on this earlier on in the show, Michael. That it was literally down to our own defensive errors. All 4 goals came from defensive errors. For me, 2 of the 3 goals that we conceded were avoidable, massively avoidable. First goal and second goal were avoidable, but ball watching FC defending yet again cost us, especially in that second goal. Cost us. And don't even get me started on the third goal, because they say it touched the sleeve a bit. So it was underneath the sleeve and things. But we've seen fucking this just this weekend alone. It's hit off the sleeve and it's still been given as a handball and things like that. Oh, he tried that off sort of thing. Again, yeah, Michael, I did touch on this as well about 5 minutes ago. Actually, in my last few points, we lack creativity. We had no creativity because the way it was set up, and that again, it led into what I said about Mikel making mistakes, because I just want to make sense of it. Willian at the age of 32 can't do it all on his own, and with Ceballos on the bench, he needed Ceballos to start with him to help him out a bit, not put all the pressure on Willian. And it's also led into me saying also this is why we need Hossam Owa from Lyon and get him in ASAP. Announce it if it's done. Fucking announce it. Because worst case scenario for us, worst case is a long season ahead for us. And worst case scenario, we are fucking luck. It's always the Arsenal way. Both Willian and Ceballos will get injured at the same time, and we're fucked. Because we have no creativity in our midfield. We need more options. We need more depth in that, is what I'm saying. But yeah, touching on, by the way, I've subscribed. Cheers, Michael. I appreciate that. And also, if you do hit the like button and share it about a bunch of friends and family, even if they're Arsenal fans, just to come over and subscribe, because occasionally I do watch alongs where it's not just an Arsenal watch, just for the neutral. If it's a decent game, I think I'll enjoy, and I think people enjoy me doing a watch along for. I'll do things like that as well, which I'm doing actually tomorrow for Brighton versus Man United. See Brighton get revenge on that lot. After what happened on Saturday to the poor fuckers, because they were fucking robbed. But anyway, touching that lot down the road, we've seen them. There's shit going off at Tottenham as well. Just for that thing that in the sense of you got there's a clear fallout with Dele Alli and Mourinho and the club over what came out in the documentary about that being lazy bollocks. Since the episode aired, he got subbed off at half time and hasn't made an appearance since. He hasn't even been on the bench. You've got all that. You've got the fact they've spent £20 million on a loan for a player, an ex-player by the way, a loan, and he's not even match fit. He's injured. He's not going to be ready until like West Ham away, which is like, I think, I'm not sure because I don't follow Tottenham or West Ham's fixture list, but I think it's like early to late November. That's what I've been hearing. A push for him to be actually match fit and ready to play. And we're seeing how performance-wise where they are, and the fact that they've got, again, it pains me to say, but player-wise, they've got better players in certain positions than we have at the moment, and they're struggling. For me, and this is a good point from Michael as well. If you think about it, sorry, start again. If you think about it, Klopp in his first season finished 8th, and 2 years later he won the league. 2 years later he won the Champions League, and then a year later after that he won the Premier League. Yeah, just believe in Arteta. Again, I have no doubt in Arteta's ability at all. It's just he's, again, as I touched on, he is going to make mistakes in his early stages of his career here and there. But I'd rather him do it last night instead of doing it, not making that mistake, and then doing it straight after the international break when we've got fucking Man City, Leicester City, and United all back to back, all one after the other, because it's going to be a crazy month for us. I think Arteta will get us top 4. I've said I personally put my neck on the line before the season started and said we'll get 3rd. Now, the reason I said 3rd as well, I based it more so on the fact that if we get either Oua or Partey, that'll give us an extra edge, in my opinion. When you're seeing what Arteta's doing and how he's getting the players to play, and apart from last night, with certain players getting these performances out of them that we never saw before. So I think that's how I based it on. But for me, if we were to sign both, I don't think we will. But if we were to sign both Partey and Oua, then fuck me, it is in our hands. In my opinion, it's in our hands basically. We've got sort of one I can't even get the word, but basically got one hand on the Champions League spot, at least a 3rd spot, so it solidifies basically. Whereas it's sort of we've still got a chance of getting 3rd, but not. It could go either way, sort of thing. Whereas that sort of, for me, solidifies it. But yeah, so I'm not over panicking. I'm not over reacting. I'm going, oh fuck, this is the end of the world. Da 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 da. Big up yourself, JSJA football. Yes, I said, not overreacting in the fucking world. Our season's fucking done, this, that, and the other. Oh, Arteta's shit, this, that. Arteta out, he's a fraud, he's this, he's that, this, da, 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 da. I'm just breaking our thought as a format, as a bit of something new for the channel as well. Do a review within a review sort of thing, but break it down into stages like I've done today. If it's all received, I'll keep on doing it for every Premier League match day. So the next one will be on Monday afternoon, actually, because obviously playing on what's the name? Sheffield on Sunday, aren't we? Yeah, Sheffield United on Sunday lunch. Yay! Yeah, of course we can. Yeah, like I said, we can finish top 4. I think, as it stands, for me, we can finish 3rd, in my opinion. Everyone gave Chelsea that 3rd fucking place because based on who they fucking signed, without fucking thinking, they forgot that we're in a pandemic. We haven't had a full pre-season. It's literally the season ended as a whole, August 1st. And then fast forward 4 weeks, Community Shield. 2 weeks later, the league started again. So within 6 weeks of the league fully finishing last season, well, not league, but last season fully finishing, we've gone off again. So they haven't had that time to click and gel and things like that. Have more training pre-season, this, that, and the other. But no, Chelsea will win the title. They're title challengers. Yeah, fucking idiots. I'm not even in fucking the football media world, and I use my fucking brain. You break it down. You think these things through. And again, just before we wrap things up, you played at Anfield. Obviously, United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Wolves. Everyone gets slapped. Well, that's another thing as well. This weekend, it's been not that bad. I know we lost, and it's a bad. I hate us when we lose, but at least the rivals, the teams that are in and around us, bar Everton, lost, because I don't think long term Leicester won't be a challenge to us in terms of what we're trying to do. Or lost or dropped points in terms of Chelsea dropped points, Tottenham dropped points, Wolves got battered by West Ham away, and West Ham are meant to be in this fucking absolute meltdown behind the scenes. So it's not been, as a whole, that bad of a thing to have happened this. At least other teams haven't gained on us or gone over us and gained an advantage, so to speak. But with that, I'm going to start wrapping things up because it's never going to be a long show anyway. But like I said, it's not overreact. Let's just think things through, break things down, learn from these games, learn from these mistakes, or take positive out of certain things. And this is what I'm going to do this show going forward. Win or lose or draw, it's always going to be broken down, and we're going to go through it all bit by bit. And yeah, hopefully, and also I'll try and get some guests on as well to go through as well. So it's not just me mugging once a week. You're going to get bored of me you're going to get absolutely sick of seeing me, by the way, this week, because obviously, as I said, tomorrow you can come back on here. I'm going to be doing a Brighton versus Man United watch along at Harvey coming on and reaching out to a few other people. I was waiting to hear back from them to come on for that, just as a neutral, just, why not sort of thing. And then Thursday, it's basically going to be a double watch along, sort of basically, because in one show, by the way, because Arsenal ladies, the Arsenal women are playing in the FA Cup semi-final against Man City, and they kick off at 7:15 p.m. UK time here in the UK. And then about half hour later, obviously we kick off in Liverpool, so I'll be going live around 7 o'clock, and then I'll be covering both games with guests, or either the guests themselves, or will be either watching both or one or the other, depending on, because I don't know what their setup and what it is. But basically, either way, I'm going to following both games, and yeah, hopefully on Thursday we can have an Arsenal double on both sides. And that's another thing I want to do, sort of add that to my channel this season, the Arsenal women's football side of things into this channel, integrate that in, and going forward. But yeah, as I said before, thanks Michael for subscribing, by the way. Hope you keep on being subscribed to the channel long term. And yeah, basically share the channel around, get as many people as you think will actually subscribe to the channel to subscribe. Smash the like button while you're there. When you do subscribe as well, hit the notification bell so you don't miss my future content that's coming over, not just this week, but throughout the whole season. And it's going to be a lot. I'm going to put it out there on Twitter, so do follow me on Twitter, actually, at Mr. Arsenal89. After we play on Sunday, and after I do this breakdown again for Sheffield United's game on Monday, I'll be putting out on my social media poll, basically, do you want me to cover in any of the international games? Like do watch-alongs, things like that for international games? If so, which ones, this, that, and the other? Just to give us a bit more content, so it's not the channel's got some stuff going forward in the international break, not just my quizzes that Mike does. Big up Mike as well. If and when he watches this, quiz master himself. Yeah, and also if you have Facebook, go onto Facebook, look up the Mr. Arsenal Podcast Facebook page, and give me a follow and a like on there. I'm literally 30 or so. I'm trying to think now. 42, 43 away from 500 followers on that page, and it's only been going just under a month now. So we're going to keep driving that up as well. And everyone on Facebook, on my Facebook page, which I'm streaming off now, massive thank you for last night. The views on my page I got on that were phenomenal. Did not expect that at all. massively appreciated it. 4.5, what is it? Currently at 4.7 thousand views on my Facebook page. But also, as I said, come over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, share it about. It don't, as I said, doesn't even have to be Arsenal, just Arsenal fans. I want a sort of collective and of other football fans on to subscribe to the channel, so they don't just associate Arsenal fans with the likes of AFTV and things, and a certain Mr. Gunner, because we're not all like that. Some of us think things through, and actually don't have to be so downbeat and negative and reactionary and things like that. Some of us in the fan base are quite, how can I put it, normal, not fame hungry, which clearly certain people like Mr. Gunner are. If that's even his fucking surname, I bet he's just made that up. But anyway, with that, thank you. I appreciate you coming into the watch the stream, subscribe to the channel, things like that. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow evening. And until next time, guys, up the Arsenal.